Hey there, today we'll be doing this question that appeared in Leetcode weekly contest 345-2683 neighboring Bitwise XOR. And I hope you have read the question statement. Let me just explain the question statement in a much simpler manner. So what they have given is they have given a derived array. Now what this array says is that this index is the XOR of two elements, two adjacent elements. That means there was some array of three elements 0, 1, and 2. So you have to XOR this a of 0. Let's just say the array name is a of a. So you have to XOR a of 0 and a of 1, and you will get a value to be 1. Okay, so basically the value of every index is the XOR of that index plus the XOR of next index. Fine. So how do we actually get this? Now, in order to do this, we need to know the XOR properties. So, in XOR properties, 0 XOR 0 is 1, 1 XOR 1 is 0, and 0 XOR 1 is 1. So, these are the properties, simple properties you need to know in order to do this. Now, also, we have to understand how do we get to this problem. So, first of all, let's just create a dummy array that is of length 3, and let's just mark it. After that, we know the XOR of this element and this element is supposedly giving me the value 1. Now I do not know the values of zeros and 0 index and 1 index. Now remember, here we can only have the values 0 and 1. Okay, so for index 0 and index 1 we do not know anything. So let's just say at the starting we will just fix the value to be 0. We will start with 0 no matter what the array is. We'll just start and make sure that we fix the value of the first index as 0. Now we need to know what will we need to put in the first index so that the XOR of this and this index is giving me 1. Now coming on to this, so we'll just simply do a simple equation, that is at index 0 what are we having the value? We were having the value as what? 0, since we fixed it, remember. Now we XOR it with some element, right? And let's just say that element is x for now. And remember, this x can only be 0 or 1, anything. Now what are we getting my answer as? We are getting my answer as 1. Fine. So now there's one more property of XOR, that is if you have two elements which are known, that is a of 0 is known to us, right, which is 0, and x is not known to us. Fine. So zeros or x is equals to 1. So what do? We just simply shift this. So what does it come out to be? So it will come out to be zeros or x is equals to 1, right? So we will simply do ones or 0. So whatever was here, just simply XOR it with whatever was on the right side. Okay, this is simple property of XOR again. Now what do we get? We get the value as 1, right? So let's just summarize this whole thing once again. We fix the first thing as 0. After that we need to know what do we need to put here so that my answer comes out to be 1. So in order to do that, what are we going to do? We are just going to simply say that whatever is at this index, take this, and whatever is my answer that I have, just XOR both of them and put it onto the next index, that is 1. 0 XOR 1 is 1. Okay, so this is how we are going to construct our answer. Now for this index the answer is done, if you see, right? Now what do? We know that this index is done, this index is filled. Now we want to fill this index, remember. So let's just write this again, that is we filled this with something like this, 0, 1, and 2. Now we want at this index the answer to be 1. Now if you see, what am I going to do? I'm going to do a XOR of 1, and previously we said what? We will just do this 1 XOR 1 is what? 0, and we will just put it onto the next index. So basically what this problem comes out to be is simply wherever you are at, just create a dummy array, fill the first index with 0. After that, wherever you are at, that index value, and the derived arrays index value, XOR both of them, and just fill that value onto the next index, which is empty. That is 1 XOR 0 is what? 1. Now we come on to this index, and what is the value here? 1. What is the corresponding derived value? 1. So 1 or 1 is what? 0. Now if you see 1 0 1 0, right, this is our value. Now if you see, the answer is also 0 1 0, which is returning us true. So that is what we want to do. Now when you complete the whole array, building the whole array, what are we going to do? We are just going to simply check that if that is giving us the correct answer. And how do we check it? It is very simple. You just XOR the adjacent element and check the value, that is it true. If it is true, well and good. If not, just return a false then and there. Fine. So this is a simple problem. All we have to do is create a dummy array at first. After that, what are we going to do? As discussed, if you are at the first index, put a 0. After that, what are you going to do? In your derived array, you have some values. XOR these two guys and put whatever the answer is on the next index. That is what we have done here. Fine. And after that, what do? We just check that the verification is correct. And what do we mean by the verification? That from the array that we have gotten right now, can I make this derived array or not? Which is very simple. XOR the index plus the next index, and if it is not equals to the derived one, return false. And also they have said that the value of this index is nothing but whatever array that you have gotten. So this and this. Okay, so that is how we check it. So this is what we have done. And the last check also, if the last element and the first element XOR is not equals to the derived last XOR, we return a false. Or at the end of the day, if nothing goes wrong, we return a true. So this is the whole code. It is very simple. Now if you want the code, please check it in the description. It will be linked there. And if you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment as well. And yeah, thank you for watching.